One thing you might notice if you watch a lot of my videos, which nobody watches my videos more than I do, but if you're one of the far down beneath me runner-ups, I rarely say but when I'm making a point. Like, I'll give you an example. Like if I were to say something like, I really like ice cream and I would generally prefer sorbet. I could have said, but I would generally prefer sorbet, but I chose not to. Because when you say but, it makes it sound like everything you said before it doesn't count anymore. That is not the case. I still really like ice cream. I would just generally prefer sorbet. You say essentially the same thing, but the person listening hears something very different. I use this in my language a lot. The reason why I use that in my language, day to day, is because it was something that was actually taught to me at the summer camp that I worked at as a way of navigating conflict. Like, two kids get into a fight, like one kid said something mean to another kid that hurt his feelings, so the kid hits him back. You could say to the kid that hit him, like, I understand he hurt your feelings, and his words had a lot of impact on you, and it isn't acceptable in this camp for people to do those things, and it wasn't acceptable for you to hit him back either, because you weren't respecting his feelings when you did that. If I said but, it just makes it sound like the kid feels like it doesn't even matter that this kid hurt his feelings in the first place. He feels very unheard. He feels like his experience is not legitimate. That's the real purpose of the and. It's just to legitimize everything that came before it. Two things can be true at the same time, even if they're a little bit hard to reconcile at first listen. I do that. It's just a habit that I don't even think about anymore, and I'm just really happy it's there. The yes and. I'm far from the person that came up with this. Just Google yes and statements and you'll see a whole bunch of stuff on it. I don't need to analyze it to death. It's just something that I really like. And I think it speaks to something larger than just navigating conflict or making sure that people's feelings aren't hurt. Being sensitive is important. And it's just the idea that two things can be true. Just two things can be true. I think I've oriented myself to not be a black or white thinker through the process of using yes and statements for so long. And I don't want to be a fence sitter. I don't want to just be a person who just doesn't argue either point extremely hard because they want to sound like the good, mediating, middle ground kind of person that everybody likes. First of all, people don't like middle ground people. People don't like people that just agree with everybody to some extent. And I know because I've been that person. I'm still working out of being that person now. So maybe that's another reason why the yes and statement has been so easy for me, is because I am such a people pleaser and I have historically been a fence sitter, but I think that even my higher self can adopt yes and. It just comes from a different place. It doesn't come from a place of trying to please anybody. It just comes from a basic acknowledgement of the truth. I think that you look at most major conflicts, like in war or at a pettier level in drama in the celebrity region, even in the YouTube region, which, YouTube drama does kind of intrigue me, even though I hate that it intrigues me. A lot of the time, the people that are the big voices that are shouting each other or hurting each other, there's nuances to the way that they've acted that are good and bad. And not equally so. Not equally so. There are parties involved who are way more in the wrong than others. But I think a lot of time people look for the good guy and the bad guy in a lot of situations. And that just isn't always the easiest to find. It's usually quite a bit more complicated. I love in The Simpsons when I didn't actually watch much of The Simpsons. Is it Abu or Apu, that character that doesn't really show up on the show anymore. Probably for good reason. I don't know. I don't care strongly about it one way or the other. But there's a part where he's like applying for American citizenship, and this guy asks him like what was the cause of like the Civil War, and he lists a whole bunch of individual details that led up to the Civil War, and he's going on this long tangent, and the guy asking the question is like, just say slavery. Like, just make it simple. Just dumb it down to the average American level if you want to be an American citizen. Just pick a side. Just have an argument. Just land on something. And then anything else that comes along, seemingly factual or not, just hold up your little shield and just let it bounce right off. Or you can let it in. You can let it into your little bubble and let it swirl around with all those other ideas. And obviously there's a kind of a color grade of black to white. There's a lot of nice little grays and maybe a whole bunch of other beautiful hues and everything else in between. Reds and blues and pinks and violets and yellows and greens. They're all there. I think I got really, really lost in that visualization, that little symbolism I'm using, and it was the best that I could do. So.